We love you, Joann.
I love you too. I'd do it again if I were in my 40s. No, I wouldn't. I wouldn't do it today's world.
Well, you'd have the internet to help you.
You'd be one of the youngest if you was in your 40s still.
All right. Now let's gather our chairs and let's sing. Over here. Let's gather some chairs.
Just walked out the door, all right? No.
Yeah, as they walk out the door.
One of them left already, but this is Lindsay. She was at her reunion.
Little trio, come on
This
down.
is Tim's daughter. Next is Riley.
Lyric, Brian,
I'm
and
sorry. Next, the oldest great granddaughter is Aspen, back to the back. And then Riley will be a senior next year. I don't like to think of that. And Lyric will be a sophomore. They go to Dixon School. And this is the friend that's with me.
Talon was here earlier.
Yes.
And yeah, Lindsay is Tim and Donna's daughter.
Yes. Thank you all so much for coming. Yes.
Okay.
On that white.
That's in your. I might have been praying for people.
You're doing great for night.
Randy, we're saying, do you want to live forever?
Don't want to share a memory?
I just remember having way too many on the Greyhound bus. And some of you sleeping in the storage bins up above the seats. And I will always remember Angela and Cheryl and I think Donna Hicks coming to me that we made our first stop at Atkins, Arkansas. Miss Ball, oh, we really gonna go home with these strangers tonight and spend the night. And you really did, and you all lived through it. I don't know what I was thinking. I really don't. But we did it. And I think it affected the entire community of Healton. Healton Kids was not just a First Baptist Church organization, it was a Healton organization, and it united us, and we benefited so much. I would take anything in the world for those memories.
Joann, did you generally stay with the minister's family?
I picked places I knew people, former pastors of mine and things like that. And I often stayed with friends and former pastors and their families. But there were places I was a stranger there. You know, just like the rest of you. And I will remember Lewis and Carol and Mammoth Cave and Dead Man's, Fat Man's Misery or something like that. And maybe a coon or a possum or something getting in the, what are the transoms up over the windows? Maybe some fella climbed out one of the windows at night, named initials JC or something like that. Not positive about that, but I sort of think so. And I remember walking into a motel in Missouri, Rolla, Missouri, and Bill Kraft said, "This is my friend, and these are our 79 kids." And we have reservations for the night. I was coming back from a trip. And do you remember Helen Hedgepath playing pinball in her bathrobe? I have that picture, so I know that's true. Yeah. Kim Francis, you might have been standing beside her. And our money was tight, and Helen got day-old honey buns at the factory there in Atkins, Arkansas, where somebody worked. And that was our breakfast. We did our own breakfast then. What memories do you have? And one of my favorite memories is in St. Louis, riding that little cart at the top of the arch and stepping off, and there was Joann Hunter. She had surprised Randy, kept it a secret. I don't know how she ever did it. But she was there at the top of the bus to meet her son.
What was your favorite place?
I hear her singing right now. I'm going to catch Christine. That's all right. I don't know. I love taking you to Amity, and I remember the Indiana Masonic Home, Teresa Kraft, and Sharon. Some of you, I was looking at pictures this week of those residents in Indiana Masonic Home, and you had on little horrible outfits. Peach and green that didn't hang right. It was the only time you had to wear hose or dress shoes or do without or something. But those older people there, older. They probably weren't very old, but they loved seeing your beautiful faces, and I think that moved all of us there.
How did we get into high school to sing?
That's the grade school that I had started in.
But there was a high school up in Illinois or Indiana, and that you had told us before we went that was a sketchy high school to begin with.
Very unruly crowd. It really was. Had a bad reputation.
Yeah.
But I listened to that last night, and let me think a minute. We closed it. We drew that song out. "This Is My Country," and
we still closed it with My Tribute, though.
yes, we did. We sang that, and then we sang some other patriotic songs at the end. I can't think what all they were, but I was a little bit concerned about y'all and your safety in that town.
Now you tell.
And I sort of shook myself and said, "Joann, what were you thinking?" My daddy was a public health sanitarian, and he arranged that with the school superintendent. And I had taught there one year after I went to the 5th grade there, and then I had taught there my first year of school. That was Edinburgh, Indiana, which got so sophisticated they changed their name from EDINBURG to EDINBURGH.
Wow.
Why?
100 years, I don't, that's what I've asked them all the time, why they ever did that.
And then there was Strawberry Plains.
Strawberry Plains was a favorite place because we loved that name. I don't know how we got there. I didn't know anyone there. But beautiful place out in the country in Tennessee, wasn't it?
I just remember our performance there.
What about that performance?
It was moving. I thought everybody got really touched at that performance.
Yeah, I did too.
The Holy Spirit descended on that one.
It was, the Holy Spirit was over all of us and protecting us all the way. I know that. And I remember when we went to southeastern Oklahoma, and Lewis Scott doesn't know anything about this, but we were in the school bus, the church school bus, and cars, and some way, when we got ready, well, we spent the night at the state park there, right,
Beaver's Bend.
something, Broken Arrow, whatever. Broken Bow, yes. And I always thought it was funny, Lewis and Larry had never gone to Falls Creek with the rest of us. And they just had the time of their life over there that night. They didn't know all the things that went on at camp till that night, but they learned. But the next morning we got to go sing at a church, and Jackie Taylor had a rain staff. And Lewis's car didn't make it. They ended up someplace else. And so different ones of you said, I can do that song.
We ended up there. He just took us.
Yeah, at the end of the service. But you stepped up and you said, I can do his part, I can do this part, I can do that. And you just amazed me. Now, one day over time you amazed me. But I don't know. I have wonderful memories of Bill's DX, the kids days, and the whole community of Healton came together to support us and help us do what we did. And our sponsors were great. Okay.
One more question. What was the place that we sang that there were so many of us that we were partially in the foyer or in the side?
I think the church held about 15. That was in Indianapolis, on the east side of Indianapolis. We went there on Sunday morning and sang, and we were 4 or 5 times the size of the congregation.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. The association, the summer youth workers had set that up for us, you know. We met them in a park, and they guided us to the different places we'd have backyard Bible clubs. And they had set that singing engagement up for us.
So who set that up for all the Indianapolis?
And the summer missionaries. We went through the Southern Baptist Mission Board for that thing. I didn't set those, I set up Amity and Napanee, Indiana. And by the way, Sonny and Lisa Lewis, and the two fellas, who stayed with the Amish people? Lewis and Steve. They stayed with an Amish family. Sonny. Lisa. Yeah. No electricity in the whole, but I thought those 4 could handle that. They could appreciate that experience.
Yeah.
And they're still alive. And the church we sang at was Mennonite Brethren. So y'all have been exposed to a lot of things.
So who set that up?
The Mennonite Brethren man that I knew was a coon hunter. You don't know where that came from. Anyway, we had a good time. I think everyone loved it being there. I don't know many. I think the most scary time was in Washington, D.C. The church with the bars on the doors that they had to lock with padlocks to let us in. Yeah, you didn't know that?
Yeah.
It was. And Patsy's brother told us that this is a dangerous part of town. You have to be careful around here.
Tell us not to go to the other side of the bus, or not to be allowed so many feet from the bus.
Yes,
Straight from the bus.
that's the instructions they gave us.
What about the only time I remember you were so frustrated at us?
Just one time?
She just well, the only
Laid
time
back
I
in her
remember
chair.
doing this, so during this after service, she just laid back like she was done. Yes. Something about the preacher preached too long.
Oh, that was the president of the Southern Baptist Convention. And we sang after he preached in Tampa, Florida. He was Herschel Haas. He was also pastor of the First Baptist Church in Oklahoma City. but we had been at the beach all day. And Tim Francis, do you know anything about a jellyfish on the bus?
Oh, that was you.
Yeah. I didn't think he would. Well, after 3 or 4 days, it began to swim. I mean, they didn't know what it was.
What are you talking about?
Found the jellyfish. And I was jellyfish on the bus.
I don't think
We had to sing after Herschel Hobbs had delivered the address at First Baptist Church, Tampa. See, that day, we had been in Micanopy, Florida, where I know some boys stayed in a tent overnight. I've never been able to find out who. But that was at Tallahassee, around in the capital. And then we went on to Silver Springs, and rode those boats, glass bottom boats. And we saw the water show, the skiers. Cypress Gardens. We've done a lot of things, haven't we? And then we drove
Clearwater Beach.
Clearwater Beach. And some way, someone got a jellyfish on there. It did this. And then we went across the island to Tampa and sang in the First Baptist Church of Tampa. And Herschel Hobbs was the president of the convention. He was visiting that church. And that's when we nearly all went to sleep during that sermon, and then got up and gave a complete concert. Not after 9 o'clock when we started singing. And we'd been at the beach all day, and we were worn out. And then I dared to take you to underground Atlanta and turn you loose. And if you know anything about underground Atlanta, we weren't safe, but we all came home together. No, nothing happened. But that's a lot of drug dealings, a lot of prostitution, you can imagine what was going on there. But I thought Steve would tell that. Because I got to sing along with you. I blew out my attention. So now you know. I don't know where that was.
I don't remember laughing. Did we laugh?
Oh, I'm sure we laughed.
Yeah, I was drinking you.
Did we laugh?
Absolutely.
There wasn't anything else to do but laugh, was there? Pick them up and laugh.
Your expression, I didn't know whether to go chase your teeth.
What if I just walked out after that? Disappeared from the night.
That was all.
See the things you didn't know that went on.
Speaking of that, tell a little bit about the skepticism of the people we went to and about whether we had any trouble while we were on the buses
Yes.
and all of that.
That was, I think in Indiana, they asked us that. Tell us about the troubles you've had on the bus and all these issues. We didn't have that. I don't think we had any. I told you, a lot of people. I took 4 buses to some, 4 trips, and came back and not one person got pregnant. They said, Joann, this was a true story. I said, you've not been around kids. But no, I don't think we had any major misunderstandings or anything like that. I'm so glad. Oh, we could have owned ownership in Forest Cousin. And before concerts, especially in Florida, I remember the boys lining up, the girls would line up behind them. We'd have a whole line, fixing hair, curling hair, all of that.
Did we have a daily quiet time where we had to zone out or?
I gave you a guided Bible study,
Yes.
little booklet. Boy, I forgot about that.
I was glancing at Bill's notes, and on the first trip, we took 53, and he said his siege for 1,100 miles or so, he rode on the steps by the door.
Yeah, he did.
The whole week.
He did. And that was a 41 passenger Greyhound bus, I believe. They never asked me how many I was taking. There's a time to tell and there's a time to be silent. But we made it just fine. And to go on 4 bus trips and have your way completely paid The only thing you had to pay was your spending money, and that could be as little or much. And then to come in and see the yellow ribbons of the church, and at the end of a service, say, would you go tell your prayer partners, thank you for praying for me while I was gone. So there were just some sweet moments like that.
Earl and Bonnie.
Burl and Bonnie, and the broken cookies from the cookie factory at Marietta. And they claimed you as their children, and you really became their children.
Joann had gave me a lot of her papers. And I kept them for some reason. And you wrote, and it has a list, of course. We know she likes lists. 50 towns or cities we went to, and I'm sure that's plus.
I hope somebody's recording this. I was gonna say, yep.
50 towns we went to. And she's got like 26 pieces of music we performed, plus 9, maybe one more musical we did. So think of all the songs we learned. Lots of practice. Did we just practice once a week?
Most of the time. Once a week on Sunday night. What happened, James Robertson left, and there was nothing for y'all to do during Sunday night. So we started this.
Who remembers their number you gave on the bus, when you got on the bus?
What was it, Teresa?
6.
6.
That was your number to be accounted for, don't you remember?
I sort of did it by ages. You and Jimmy.
That way, that's how you got home. You gave them your number. They checked the list.
Well, the sponsor stood at the door, and as you boarded the bus, you said, number 1, number 17.
Did we ever
I don't
leave
remember
anybody?
that at all.
I don't think we lost anyone. There was one. If so, they're still lost. I remember a night in coming home from Florida, I think. We'd stop at places that had like 4 fast food places on 4 different corners, and it was raining so hard, and we didn't know if we ever got everyone back on the bus that night or not, but we did.
I've been on some point. Somewhere you had to go find some.
I did. I went and drug some out. I don't remember where they were, but I fetched them.
We celebrated a lot of birthdays.
Oh, that was another neat thing. There was birthday cakes for Cindy Aikman. Who else has a birthday in late March? Yeah, Cheryl, and there's another one or two, but you have birthday cakes, and that was always fun to do.
We had our decisions within our group.
Yes, I remember Amity is the church I grew up in, but I know that Amity Church was the church where Cindy Aikman and Randy Bruce made a public profession of being a Christian. I remember that. And so those will always be, of course, Amity's still special to me, but those were special memories. I'm trying to think 1 or 2 more things.
What was the largest church?
I think the largest may have been that one in Florida where we were half asleep, or in Atlanta, Georgia. One of my former pastors had a church that covered city blocks and had a walkway that went across the highway, and that was really a fun place to be, and they treated us very, very well.
Joann, one thing we talked about, I've been reading through your journals you've written, and we never discussed about if we got to a home and we were scared or anything. We didn't have a phone number to call. We didn't know what to do. We just trusted people.
Yeah, we did, and we didn't have any cell phones. We did. I looked for some of those lifesaver suckers that I used to take on the bus. I couldn't find them anywhere. I don't think they make them anymore. You don't remember?
Yeah, I remember.
Great big stuff.
Yes.
And they had paper you could pop. You know, they were wrapped with plastic wrap that you could pop after that. Bubble wrap, yeah. Bubble
Did you
wrap.
ever get a report from any of us that they were ever scared? I know I was never ever scared.
Never.
We were.
That first night or other nights?
No, that's not. One night we were.
Seriously?
Yeah,
Scared?
we were. Oh yeah, we were in Memphis, Tennessee. Yeah, we were in Memphis, and home with a woman and her son, and yeah, we were scared. We were scared of the sun, and I don't know why.
I don't either. There's just some
I don't-
bad vibe.
It was not good, and so we pulled the cedar chest or right up against the door. Yeah, that was smart. It's just one.
Well, they
time.
put us up in a little attic. That was not a good
Oh.
feeling.
You couldn't escape, could you? Oh, me, I didn't know that.
It's like the bedroom.
I'll have more gray hairs tomorrow.
It was just one time.
Steve wants to know the oddest group of people.
I stayed with some odd.
You have any in particular you remember?
Oh, yeah, and, I think it was, did we see in Illinois?
Yes.
Yeah.
Tommy Parker had friends, relatives in his family that lived in Illinois. He didn't go to church here, but
Right, I didn't, okay. I remember.
Afton, Illinois.
Okay, and it was a very well-to-do family, and there's a husband, wife, and 2 kids. They looked kind of like mom and pa cattle, but yet they lived in a really nice house. So when we got there, we all sat in the living room, and they wanted to know all about us, and so they were asking, or they were telling us, they said, well, we've saved the best for last. We wanted to introduce you to our son, Rocky. Well, I mean, I didn't know about any son named Rocky, so we went upstairs, and so Rocky's in the bedroom all by himself, and they're just grinning and smiling, and we walk in the bedroom, and they say, if you'd like to, you can walk over there and say hello to Rocky. Well, there was like a display case, and so then, my mind just went crazy. It was like, I don't know if they pickled him or something. Over on display because they just had this weird smile on their face. So I walked over there, and Frank and I were Frank and Berman, and we didn't know how to react. But we looked it down, and there was a doll case bed and everything, and Rocky was a rock. That had eyeballs taped on it, and had on little pajamas. And so we looked at him, and I looked at him like, okay, now we're gonna laugh. And there was no laughter going on. They were just really interested in what we thought about Rocky. And I told Frank whenever we finally went to bed, we slept with the light on, and it's like we went to the bathroom that was all the way down the other hall. I didn't even want to walk by where Rocky slept. I had no idea what was going on. But nothing ever was said about Rocky after they introduced us to him.
That is odd. That is very
So I'm thinking, the next morning it's going to be all like a big joke and everything. But no, there was just
Silent.
nothing was said. So we still weren't going to ask any questions.
I didn't know anything about
But
that.
if anybody, well, I mean, what am I going to say?
Are you crazy?
So did any of you guys have anything strange like that?
I think Dale and I were roommates a lot of times, and I don't remember us ever having any problems.
No.
We stayed at a, Joann, I think you just set us up. Anyway, we stayed at a trailer park in Metairie, Louisiana. Have we seen there? Okay. And lady was really nice, a single mom, but her kid had grown up and was living there, I think, during the summer or whatever. So, very nice, talked to us and everything, very friendly. And then, so we went to bed, and the walls were like paneling and everything. So Frank and I turned the light out, and we heard clickety, 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 clickety. What was that? So we turned the lights on, and that was the bugs crawling up the wall. Oh. So that was another place that we left the lights on. Because they disappeared when the lights were on, but I don't know what all they were doing when the lights were on. But I mean, it was really everything was except for. I mean, there was just 2 of them. I could go on.
I think strange situations because I knew he can handle it. and tell us all about it.
got way too much faith in him.
Now that explains how he turned out the way he did.
And that's the night your hair turned white.
That's right. 'Cause the Amish thing was the best.
Yeah, I knew it.
You made up for
They stayed in an Amish home, you know, no electricity. I don't know what it was, but very nice people. And that's a once in a lifetime opportunity to do
Right.
that.
And it was a young man with 7 older sisters, and he was not allowed to he had a pickup, and he wasn't allowed to park on their land. So he had to park outside their land, and then we walked, I can remember carrying my luggage way up, you know, hills and everything until we got to the house. And he worked somewhere else, and he had a truck to get there, but he just wasn't allowed.
He was probably in this room, Springer, however you pronounce that. When you get to a certain age in your Amish, you have a year or two that you're free to explore.
Okay.
And a lot of them pick up a lot of bad habits at time. And some never come back to the Amish faith. Others do come back to the faith they were raised in.
It was me and Lewis and Lisa and
Sonny.
Sonny. So I'll be curious what their thought was. Lewis and I had to get up early to.
Yoder.
There are a lot of Yoders up there. That's a good Amish name.
So, Lewis, what do you remember about that?
It's terrible to say, but I remember the sheets of the bed. I guess, of course, we're so used to dryers even at our age. They were all hung out in the sun, and they've got a special smell, if anybody remembers that. So I remember the sheets that night when we laid down, besides sleeping with Bug.
Do you remember? Do you remember any special food that you had while you were there?
It was incredible.
It was good food, yeah.
Yeah, it was homemade. It was awesome.
See, I didn't mean to keep it.
You're good with your stories. Keep on.
Your birthday.
And was that the town where we did see the Amish carriages and stuff?
Yes, Napanee, Indiana.
Okay. How far was that from where you grew up? Didn't we go to your college?
Not to my college. I went to Whitman College in
Did we go to a
Illinois.
college though, or some kind of school?
We went to the school, and I have to stop and think. With Indiana Masonic Home, and we sang at Edinburgh High School, and then my little country church, Amity, Indiana, and Napanee. That's what I think.
It seemed like we even stayed at, maybe not.
Well, you stayed at Amity's out in the country. My church was out in the country.
Oh,
So
okay.
you stayed at country homes
Okay.
there. Ate in the basement. They had dinner in the basement. Do you remember my taking you to the Swedish smorgasbord in Indianapolis?
Yes.
First time I'd ever
This
heard
was
of
the first year,
smorgasbord.
That was wonderful. They had chocolate mousse, and I'd never had chocolate mousse. And then we rode around the Indianapolis 500.
Yeah.
They got the cars, or they drove the bus, or whatever. You all got to ride. Steve Campbell really enjoyed that museum there, Cheryl. He was fascinated by the race cars. And I remember riding around the speedway. I remember going to the bottom of Mammoth Cave. And I remember a couple of fellas that couldn't calm down that night.
What's that story?
Oh, yeah, you talking about Mammoth Cave?
Yes.
Yeah,
That's it.
I don't know.
Tell them the whole story. Go right ahead.
I don't remember, Steve.
Oh, you do too.
It's real deep inside here. I can't think.
No, really?
I can't think right now.
Has Ken Chaffin left?
Yes.
Oh, good, I can tell. So Joann, in her infinite wisdom, thought it would be great, since we were staying in individual rooms if she had some of the older guys stay with the younger kids to keep them well behaved. Big mistake. So we were having so much fun. We were doing some kind of karaoke contest in there, and all of a sudden somebody said, "I think somebody's at the door." And so we had to be quiet, and finally we heard somebody knock again at the door, and they put me up to go into the door, and I'll never forget. I opened the door, and it was the first time in my life that I've ever seen Ken Chaffin's hair messed up. It was like sticking straight out, and his part was going over this way. And it's also the first time in my life I've never seen Ken Chaffin not smiling. And I'm looking at him like, "Hey, how are you?" And he said, "Steve, quiet. Be quiet." And I'm thinking, why? And then I look at my watch and it's like 2 o'clock in the morning, something like that. I don't know what time we had to be there, but I've done everything in my power ever since then to ask for forgiveness. So hopefully, but that I will never. I can still see in my mind what that man looked like, and it was one of the scariest things I've ever seen.
We stayed in the original Mammoth Cave Hotel, which was very, very old. And it's pretty, but it went to the bottom of Mammoth Cave, and that's a little bit unnerving too. Bottom of Mammoth Cave, top of the arch, creek. That drove some people crazy. I remember one night I was really disgusted with y'all. And it was all my fault. Who schedules a high school choir practice on Saturday night? And that's what I did, and I don't know if we were getting ready to go on tour. You act like you don't know what I'm talking about, but we were sitting on the stage of First Baptist Church out here and trying to record or get ready to make a recording. This was all stupid timing on my part. And I finally just said, "Let's quit, good night." But it was horrible. You were thinking about what you were going to do afterwards and so on like that, and I just finally gave up. I think that was the only time I've been disappointed in you. But that made up for all the other times.
What about the time we were scared when wasn't it in Washington, D.C., when we sang at a church that
Yes.
we could hear sirens the whole time, and it was predominantly another race than us.
Well, and I wrote somewhere on Facebook this week, we were singing at that Methodist church.
Okay.
That was, very poor section, very unsafe section of Washington, D.C. They had the bolts over the doors, iron bars over the doors and things they let us in. And I think we did a different musical that night. But this one man said, "I'd like to hear He's Got the Whole World in His Hands." And Scott drug out the whole world. It wasn't in that musical, and you had to find it in some of the other musicals. And Angela sang it, and that old man was happy. He was. You remember that, Angela? Yeah. You remember that? Yes, it was. That was not a good day. No, we didn't go to Chicago. It wasn't Chicago. No, we did get separated in New Orleans. There was a lot of traffic, and we didn't quite know. We didn't have iPhones at the what? Radios. We had CBs, didn't we? But anyway, somewhere we got separated in New Orleans, and this was where Kenna, yeah.
Is that when we were going to my dad's?
Yes. And I don't remember if the back bus made it on time or not, but that was not a good evening. I just as soon have some white out and cover that up. That was not a good evening. They got there, but I don't know. But had the,
Oh,
and you
no.
remember those boxes, those U-Haul boxes that, Patsy and Lola and Ophelia, I can't think who all packed the dresses in those. You were numbered and they packed the dresses in there. And the uniforms, I thought all our uniforms were great except for that one. Messed, and I think, who was it wrote on? Oh, it was Pecos wrote, I love Joann Ball, but that uniform was just horrible. And I said, Pecos, I didn't have one thing to do with that. We had a committee of parents, Nancy. No. Did the parents pick those out? These were the apricot and green.
That one I don't know. I was in on the one that was the denim and the bandana, but I don't
Right, okay.
remember that.
I don't know where those others came from, but it was peach
Yeah, they
and green. They
White stripes.
and they were straight, loose, and you had a belt, wide belt that you.
Oh, it was crinkly. It was crinkly fabric. It was good.
Crinkly fabric, yeah.
Yeah, didn't it sort of cling to them?
Well, they had to wear girls had to wear hose
Yeah.
with those. That's the only short dress we had. No, it didn't have a sash. It had a waist, a big sash around the waist. That was just a mix.
And the boys' clothes were masculine.
I let you wear blue jeans. I look at the pictures. There's light blue jeans, dark blue jeans, and everything like that. But your clothes look good. But I let y'all make the decisions. And that was a lot better than make, like the red material, which was beautiful. Nancy and somebody else went to Penny's and picked out a material that had lots of different patterns. And they were all red, red and white, white and red. And then you could choose the style of your shirt or the style of your dress. And it were different. Parents, Nola made some, Nola Evans made some, Nancy Hearn made a lot. And I'll never forget before the first tour, we were practicing on Wednesday night, and I don't know why, but Bob Miller was home on leave, and this is Matthew's older brother, and he was there. And after that tour, Matthew said, I need to go on tour. He wasn't going to go. He had a job. He felt like he needed to work. And Nancy Hearn rounded him up a shirt, and he went on tour. He and Debbie got acquainted, and Matthew just loved going on tour. I look back at Matthew and think how glad I am that he got to do that. But my favorite Matthew memory, and some of you heard me say this at his funeral, was playing a football game at Marlow. And Matthew intercepted a pass. It started down the field, and the entire football team gathered around him, ran him down the field so no one could tackle him, and he scored a touchdown. That was just a great, great memory. Matthew was a fine fella. We've lost a lot to fine people out of his kids. For a sobering, just sit down and make a list of the ones who are gone. And our sponsors.
Saw the display over there, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
I did see that. Our sponsors are nearly all gone. Jackie's still here. Nancy Hearn is still here. Ken and Cleo. And Wanda. And they were never officially sponsors. They were big supporters and really helped me a lot. There's one other. Helen, and there were several. Calvin girl's mother, Bonita Calvin. You don't even know who I'm talking about, do you? Well, the first musical we did, Frank Patton, Iris Matthews, and Jerry Calvin had speaking parts down, and Jerry still stays in touch.
What about Frank Patton?
Frank was a great narrator.
Does anybody hear from him? I don't know anything about him.
I've never heard from him. Hennessy is where I think he is, but he doesn't stay in touch. And I had a beautiful letter from Tony Weaver before
I
we
was wondering
ever
about
get
that.
in. But I think he lives at Hennessy too. Well, we've had lots of good friendships come from this, and you have a treasury of memories. I know you do.
Well, you can go ahead and pat yourself on the back again.
Eric, I was as blessed as anyone, and I treasure those years.
I just remember that I think it was Strawberry Plains, in that little church at Strawberry Plains. You were telling Scott to turn the music down, and you kept patting yourself on the back to turn the music down, and everybody thought you were just patting yourself on the back.
Oh, man. Eric, you could forget that. I remember the bake sales and all the parents. We just
Car washes.
Car washes. But, yeah, we did move the car wash over to Friars. They're on the east side because I have pictures of that. Three or four. And listen, I brought all the pictures I have, except I saved a few for my funeral, but the pictures, the cookbooks, things like that, take them if you want them. Amy doesn't need to have to deal with those sort of things. Amy has her hands full with her mother. I'd love to hear the trio sing. It's
I have a sister who's 20. And my oldest brother graduated. The DJUA.
I'll see you sometime.
So I knew some of the names.
Yeah. My oldest brother, she graduated in 66. He's 57.
And I'll just move on. That's what I mean.
Grace and godliness, blessed consolation.
Trust in Jesus, I've learned to trust
That's one of my favorites.
Joann, I guess once it's in you, it just stays.
It does. Get pretty full in there. Well, when I planned it, I wrote it down, I contacted people, it's ready. And I'm prepared. But in the meantime, I'm gonna enjoy life.
Yes. Donna came by honestly, didn't she? I mean, she was so matter of fact about it.
Well, you might as well be.
Yes.
Come for all of us. The fact that I've had to prepare for that, for this 2 or 3 times. I'm ready.
You want us to sing anything else?
Well, I could just do sing all day, but I won't do that.
Can we do this one? Pass it out? Something.
Oh.
I just, that just, and I can remember Teresa. Yeah, I remember coming up out here after church on Wednesday night, coming out of choir practice and all that. And someone had left the men's call while we were in the kitchen area and said, out to eat. And then I remember that we said, just go to Mother's car.
Sure.
And so many funerals. Something beautiful. You sang a lot of funerals here in town. Such a blessing.
All my confusion, he understood. All I had to offer him was brokenness and strife, but he made something beautiful of my life. Let's just praise the Lord. Praise the Lord. Let's just lift our voice to heaven and praise the Lord. Let's just praise the Lord. Praise the Lord. Let's just lift our voice to heaven and praise the Lord. You know, excited to tell everybody that Jesus Christ is King. You know, excited to tell everybody that Jesus Christ is King. You know, excited to tell everybody that Jesus Christ is King. Jesus Christ is still the King of Kings. Some things are really unimportant at all. exciting to tell everybody that Jesus Christ is King. Get all excited to tell everybody that Jesus Christ is King. Get all excited to tell everybody that Jesus Christ is King. Jesus Christ is still the King of Kings. Because He lives, I can face tomorrow. Because He lives, all fear is gone. Because I know He holds the future, and life is worth the living just because He lives. Lord, we praise Thee.
I think you sang that at Helen's funeral. You sang it at Alpha Ezel's funeral. Pam Barrett wanted you to sing it at her grandmother's funeral. I don't know how many times you sang that song. It's good at the end on it if you want to end. If you want to keep going.
Well, I have, oh, I'm sorry. I have to, well, I probably can't, but I've got to. Thank you, my God. All of us, what you've done, you have no idea, and I really didn't. Good Lord, until the last few years, what you've done for so many of us, so many of our children, and to take it on, what you took on. You just were crazy.
That's what I accused her of earlier. She had to be crazy. 80 teenagers across the country, not once, but many times.
But today, she knocked on the door.
And you were using the past tense, and it may apply to the present.
Well, and go through our cases, but just thank you. Just thank you. You'll never know what you've been through with us.
Nancy, all I can say is, thank you to all the families here that trusted me. I don't know why you would send people off with this old lady.
There never was a question, no. That's what's so strange. There was never a question.
I am so thankful, and I'm so thankful for God, to God for the opportunity. changed my life for
Oh, oh. I wanna play this song.
I know where you sing this.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. That's the nicest thing that anyone's ever done for me. It isn't every day you touch your guns and play. I never thought the future would be fun for me. And if I had a candle I would blow it. You had to start and final victory touch. When since I left my knees at home, I simply have to say thank you very, very, very much.
Thank you, Steve.
I can remember this one. People have a simple ear. I would really like to mention if I may. Our unanimous attitude is an everlasting gratitude for what you friends have done for us today. And that's what we would simply like to say. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. That's the nicest thing that anyone's ever done for me. You turned the business on, the things the way they are. I really left a problem that you done for me. And if I had a candle, I would fire it. Tonight is sort of celebration touch. But since I left my candle home, I simply have to say thank you very, very, very much. Once again, thank you very much. Thank you very much. That's the nicest thing that anyone's ever done for me. The future does no harm. You acted this so right. The man has empty promising was done for me. And if I had a drum, I'd have to bang it. I sort of helped me touch. But since I left my drum at home, I simply have to say thank you very, very, very much. Thank you.
I forget she did for Annie.
Make it this one, Annie.
That's what I think. We spent, we did that later, thing is my pastor's church down there. Went to underground Atlanta. And then went to this was a Baptist Assembly campground. And I was on stage that night there, and we sang it to the cook as we left the next time. I remember.
Joann, did Jackie ever go on tour with us, or was she just our practice?
Her parents did not.
That's what I thought, she was just our practice. Everything else was on.
But you played for us.
I played, and Lola we played for some of the entertainment. I played things very much.
And directed.
We made it, didn't we? Now, we had Melinda, if she just Alyssa. She was
I know.
you know, they were looking forward to me.
How dear.
It's been great to see you all. This is the finest birthday present I can ever have.
Thank you so much.
Well, I love you all, and I have wonderful people in my heart. I pray to them forever.
Joann has talked about doing all this at her funeral, and I was gonna make sure to force her to be able to listen to all of it a month from now.
I thoroughly enjoyed it, and I will listen to it more. I have radio on all the time, so I'll be listening to it. I like to listen and pick out who did this.
I'll keep posting, I'll
Yeah.
post
Okay.
it on the His Kids page on Facebook.
We got the movie coming.
Yep,
Yay.
it's playing right there.
How much is that gonna sell for?
It's playing right there on his computer.
I stole it. Those are those uniforms.
Yeah.
The short ones, the dresses.
That's a good thing, usually. Oh, it's
Are these extras? Yes.
What's your call?
Chris.
Oh, Birdie told us. Yeah. The funny thing is, Joann, is that before the birdie told us, Carol already had the idea because she read it somewhere on a post. Did you say that you didn't get married? Yeah. And then we're thinking, here's our backup plan. If we couldn't get the PA system to work, we were going to make you open your present early so we could
You're right. You're in your front. Donna looks great to see look over there and see you. I moved to assistant and I had to.
How can I say thanks for the things you have done for me? Things so undeserved. that you give to prove your love to me. The voices of a million angels could not express my gratitude. All that I am and ever hope to be, I owe it all to thee. To God be the glory, to God be the glory, to God be the glory for the things He has done. With His blood He has saved me, with His power He has raised me. To God be the glory for the things He has done. Just let me live my life, let it be pleasing, Lord, to Thee. And should I gain any praise, let it go to Calvary, Calvary. With His blood He has saved me, with His power He has raised me. To God be the glory for the things He has done. He gives you peace like a river, washing away all your fears. He gives you light like a new day, flowing through all your tears. He gives you joy like a soft robe, wrapping you up in His love. He gives you strength
Oh,
What is your name?
Steve Buck Sullivan, but probably mostly Buck Steve Sullivan. Robin?
Can I be next so I can leave?
Yes.
What do you want me to say?
What is your name?
Luann Lively. It used to be Luann Worsham. I live in Durant, Oklahoma.
Tell me your name.
Hi, I am Cheryl Chaffin Bohay.
Tell me your name.
My name's Cleo Chaffin.
What is your association with the His Kids group?
I was a sponsor on 2 of the trips.
Okay. Tell me your name.
My name is Melissa Coates, and I actually wasn't ever in His Kids. I was too young, but I thought they were the greatest thing ever, and I wanted to be in His Kids and wear a gingham dress so bad.
Did you remember watching them perform?
I did, yes. And Joann was my kindergarten teacher, so they were just wonderful.
Well, thanks for coming today. Tell me your name, sir.
My name is Ken Chaffin.
With your mouth full, tell me your name. Tell me your name.
Kenna Crumley. I'm an original member, started in '73. I didn't go on the '78 tour because I got married.
I was on the youth committee during. Very good. I can't tell you what year.
Well, that was my mom, Patty. My name is Christy Kelly Blakemore, and I was one of the little brats running around. I was too young to be part of His Kids. But
Who are you, sir?
I'm Dale Wood. I was in His Kids from 75
All right, with your mouth full.
77.
He knew I was coming. Let's hear your story.
Oh, I'm Carol Jean Scott. I was in His Kids from '73 to '78.
Who's this guy?
I'm Tom
Who's this gal?
I'm Teresa Kraft Woodward. I'm your wife, still. That girl. I was His Kids from 1973 through 1978 when I graduated and went to OBU where I met you.
Joann.
We're going to interview you now.
Okay, you interview me.
What's your name?
Adonna Joann Ball.
And your association with His Kids?
I was there from the beginning.
Did you think it up or just take it over?
I started. They needed something to do on Sunday night, so I organized this thing.
So how many years did you do it?
From 1973 to 1979, I believe.
You touched an awful lot of people's lives.
And they touched mine.
I'm sure of that. Who's this guy?
Scott Fryer.
You His kid?
I am.
What years?
I don't even know what years.
Do you have a favorite memory of it?
Yeah, I have a couple of memories.
Teresa talked about going to the Capitol in '76 and
Seems
singing.
like it was raining that day.
That's what she said.
I kind of remember sitting on the step trying to run the sound under an umbrella in the rain.
How many years were you in them?
At least 2. Was it 3? I can't remember.
Well, thanks for coming today.
The ones I remember was the veterans homes. All the armed forces songs. That's the ones I remember.
Cool. All right. Thanks for coming. Tell me your name.
Tracy Terrell.
What's your association with His Kids?
A married life.
And you? Good.
Tony Terrell.
How many years were you in His Kids? Make it up. Tell me your name.
Gail Green Molander.
What's your association with His Kids?
I was in His Kids kind of at the beginning. I went on the first tour.
Tell me your name.
Hi, I'm Cheryl Hammer.
What's your association with his kids?
I was one of the first members. We were back in 73, 74, before we had.
Tell me your name.
My name is Angela Fisher, and I was in his kids from 1973 to 19.
You ready?
Yeah, sure.
All right. Tell me your name.
Hi, I'm Eric Smith. I was in his kids from 73 till 76. And so 3 of the different tours. And one of my favorite memories is going through Mammoth Caves, and also we spent the night there. Big Bend was another one that we had fun. And going to the Capitol and going to Washington, D.C. was just a fantastic experience, and then to sing on the Capitol steps. That was one of the greatest memories ever. And also to meet at that time the Speaker of the House, who was from Oklahoma, Carl Albert. And it was a very, very special time. And Joann, I've told her already this today, that she had to be crazy to take 80 kids across the United States on buses. But it was such a wonderful memory and such a wonderful time. And I want to thank her for everything that she did for us during that time.
Well, thanks for coming today.
Oh, is this where we have to answer questions?
Yes, but I'll fill in the blanks if you go blank. All right, tell me your name.
Kendall Rector.
And what's your association with his kids?
I was a member of his kids in 77.
You have a favorite memory?
My favorite memory was in Indianapolis when we were singing in the park, and 2 jets crossed in the sky, and there was a cross left up in the sky of clouds while we were singing.
Cool memory. Thanks for coming. Tell me your name.
Jim Price.
What's your association with his kids?
From 76 and
Tell me your name.
Christy Wilson Hickman. Paula Schultz Moody.
All right, we're going to dual interview here. All right, we'll start again.
Okay. Paula Schultz Moody. Christy Wilson Hickman.
Years in his kids.
75 to 78.
Same for you?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. Favorite memory?
When Joann Ball took us to Brahms after a concert, and she wanted everybody to get a triple dip of ice cream.
What flavors were yours?
Butter brickle and peppermint.
That's only 2.
Well, I know, but I think I probably doubled up on something.
How about you?
My favorite memory is probably the first year I got to go on tour, because I missed the first 2 that I should have gotten to go on for different reasons. And so my first trip to Indianapolis, that tour was my favorite memory. And all that his kids was singing on the bus and laughing.
Way cool. Well, thanks for coming today.
Thank you, James.
Absolutely. What's your name?
Thank you so much.
Sunny Pryor Dobbins.
And what years were you in his kids?
I couldn't tell you. I wasn't one of the originals.
So do you have a favorite memory?
All of them.
Now, we're hearing everything from the Capitol to going to Brahms to you name it. So sounds like all of your name.
Yes.
Melody Engel Walker.
What's your association with his kids?
I was in his kids, I believe the years were 78, 77, 78.
Oh, that's great. Tell me your name.
I'm Chris Hearn, Christina Hearn.
And were you in his kids?
I sure was.
What years?
I think it was 76, 77, and 78.
You got a favorite memory?
Oh, there's so many of them. It was really cool going to Washington, D.C. as a young, naive person from Healton, Oklahoma, and seeing all the great sights. But mainly in Indianapolis, seeing the young kids that were so poverty-stricken, it was sad. And to help them and help them lead them to Christ was amazing.
Very cool story. Well, thanks for coming today. Who's this guy?
Yes, hi, Robin. You know me, Louis Scott. I was in his kids from 73 to 78. And I don't know, greatest memory, probably all the kids on a bus, 56 kids on a 49-seat bus. Kids up in the luggage racks sleeping. So I do remember that.
Great memory. Tell me your name.
I am Jenna Scott, and I don't belong to the group. I'm married to Larry Scott, Lewis's brother.
Very good. Well, it worked out pretty well today. Well, thanks for coming today.
Thanks, I enjoyed it.
Tell me your name.
Laura Coach.
What's your association with his kids?
I'm married to his kid.
That counts.
Joe is over there somewhere. I saw him a minute ago.
What year did you all get married?
Married, 1982.
That's been a while then.
Yeah, 40 plus years.
You did very well.
We're working on it.
Thanks for coming today.
Thank you.
State your name.
No,
Who? Are
Jerry
you
Dobbins.
are you a fugitive from justice?
I am.
I see. You need a better
FBI.
disguise next time.
Okay, I'll try.
Fair enough. Tell me your name.
My name is Kelly, and I'm not his kids.
Yeah,
I'm
but
a
you
Hearst
married
kid.
you married one, didn't you?
I did. I married his kids.
How long ago?
Oh gosh, that was in 1996. So it's quite a while ago.
Held up pretty well.
Yes, absolutely.
All right, thanks for coming. I want to ask you your name.
My name?
Yes.
I am Wanda Fryer.
And what's your association with his kids?
His kids, I was one of the original sponsors.
Tell me your name.
Barbara Price.
I'll edit it out. Do it again.
Barbara Price.
And what's your years were you in his kids, or what's your association?
My daughter was in the group thing, Kim Price.
Do you have a favorite memory of watching them perform?
Just they were a bunch of good kids.
Well, thanks for coming today. Tell me your name.
I'm Doug Davis.
And what's your association with his kids?
Joined when I was in 7th grade, and I guess was in it 4 or 5 years.
I just been to the
Hi, state your name.
Tim Francis.
What years were you in his kids?
All of them.
Got a favorite memory?
Bus rides, mostly.
Anything particular about the bus rides?
You know, I don't know if there's anything in particular or not. I just think I spent most of my time just looking out the window and seeing all the cool stuff.
And getting out of town.
And getting out of town, absolutely.
Thanks for coming today. What's your story?
I am Larry Scott. Was in his kids from the inception until '78, and favorite, funniest memory, whatever you want to call it. Tony Weaver and I at Silver Springs, Florida, chased the Southern Bells around the park. That was our day.
Tell me your name.
You've already done me.
All right.
You haven't done
You're disqualified.
You haven't done me. Oh my God.
You're next.
Chris Burton. I was in his kids, I think, from 77 to 78. I went to the Florida and the Florida trip and Indiana trip. And I can't pick just one thing that was my favorite. It was all very good memories.
Thanks for coming today. All right, who's this guy?
Hello, Terry Wood.
What's your association with this mob?
Oh, I'm the leader. No, I'm older than all of them. It kind of started after I got in college. And I am not a singer, so I never sang one note. And I'm not going to.
You got a favorite memory of watching them perform?
No, I do not.
How long have you been a fugitive from justice?
Do what now?
How long have you been a fugitive from justice?
Parole right now.
How about this guy?
Joe Kirksey.
What's your association?
I was with the group when 1973 when they first started up, and the thing I remember is we had stayed in Beaver's Bend cabins, and we were heading to Wright City, and I was riding with Lewis Scott and Cheryl Hammer, and there were some other people that I don't remember, but we were running late, and so we were following another car, and they outran us, and we missed the turn, and I think they sent the police out looking for us.
They said a highway patrolman had a kid in his kids, and he went looking for you.
Maybe that's who it was. They were anyway. We ended up getting at the church late, and Larry Scott, Lewis's brother, had to sing my solo. And we walked in, and I seen big crocodile tears coming down Joann's eyes there when we came in because we were a little bit late.
Glad it worked out for you.
It worked out, though.
Good. Well, thanks for coming.
Memory.
Very good. Thank you.
Oh my gracious. That is terrible. There's a lot in curlers. Oh my. I didn't show all that. Terry, that's awesome.
If it wasn't then, it's not now. Yeah, I ain't got any nerves.
I just want to come over because
Did I get everybody here? Did I get you? Okay, we're good.
Look at old Chris.
You said 2 in the last few months. What was that group?
Gang sign. Have I spoken to you?
No.
All right. I
I
want.
will.
What's your name?
Nancy Hearn Hoskins.
Were you his kid or?
No, I'm one of the parents. Chris Hearn is my daughter, and I was one of the ladies that helped with the costume.
That was pretty good.
And it was fun. I think the best memory is just them coming in over the hill in the bus, and all the parents waiting to see their kids. That was it.
Well, thank you for your contribution and for coming today.
Thank you so much.
Sometimes mine comes through, and sometimes mine
Oh, wait,
Tell me your name.
Kelly Roberts, used to be Kelly Lambert, and I was in the original group.
How many years?
Well, 1973 until it was over with, and yeah, I went on every tour.
Got a favorite memory?
Oh, too many. I love Washington D.C. That was my favorite trip.
That's a popular answer today.
Too many wonderful memories. Yeah.
Well, thank you for coming today.
Alan is a little older than you. Okay. Boy, you're great teacher. That's fine. The first thing I ever made math was in I love that lady. You look great.
A couple of minimum wage looking guys, if I've ever seen them.
Happy birthday to Joann. Happy birthday to you.
You gonna blow those candles out? Make a wish. We love you, Joann.
I love you too. I'd do it again.
You'd be one of the youngest if you was in your 40s still.
All right. Now let's gather our chairs and let's sing. Over here. Let's gather some chairs.